Our next project is a pumpkin. So we're going to make them kind of like this. They might be a little bigger than what you're seeing in my hand here. And I basically brought this out so that you could see all the different textures that are on the pumpkin. There's little blemishes, there's dents, there's wrinkles, there's the texture of the stem, and there's a little bit of a texture underneath it. And we're going to include all of that in what we make. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your clay and you're going to tear it into two pieces. Notice I twisted it, it's the easiest way. And then we want to make this into a ball. We're actually going to do this with both of the pieces. And if I have a place where there's a big wrinkle, it's going to go on the spot where my thumb goes into the pinch pot. And by taking one piece and tearing it about in half, that's a good way to ensure that your top half and your bottom half of your pumpkin are about the same size as each other. They don't have to be perfect. Because nature is not perfect. So I'm going to, once I have them in a ball shape, I'm going to kind of flatten one side of it, and that will help me make the pinch pot a little bit quicker than if it was just a ball. So I'm going to go ahead and put my thumbs on the inside, and I need to remember to pinch the bottom end of my pinch pot with a bowl, make it thin enough before I start thinning out the rest, because this piece of clay is so big that if I wait, I won't be able to reach it. And a lot of my students, when they made their pinch pot creatures, wanted to press this against the table while they were making it, and it was flat on top. But we don't want that for this. Pumpkins are not flat on top. We want to make this as round or curved as we can. Doesn't have to be super round. We also want this to be a nice big opening. So instead of having my thumbs like this the whole time, or like this, I had them out more like this. And we want our clay to be that nice 1/2 inch thickness, pretty much all the way around. And the nice thing about pumpkins is they're not perfect, so we don't have to make it perfectly smooth while we're doing this. It's okay to have some dents to start with. I'm going to set this over here. And now my goal is to make a second one that the edge of it is about the same size as this edge here, so that they'll attach together properly. A little thin spot there, so I'm gonna press it back together and pinch it again just to try to make it even. And I can take these and see if they're going to be the right size. I can see that one of them's quite a bit bigger than the other. So this one I'm going to go just a little bit thinner because I still have a little extra thickness there that I can use for that. And now I can see that they're about the right size to attach together. So I'm going to use my plastic scoring tool because it's quicker. And this process should not take you a really long time. It'll probably take you longer than I take to do it, but it shouldn't take you long to get your scoring done. That's why we want to use this plastic tool. So I've scored it and I've slipped it. I still have students who want to just press their clay together, and when they do that without scoring and slipping, sometimes all I have to do is touch it and it just falls apart. So please make sure that you do this. It's very, very, very important in any project, but especially this one. I'm going to set it there, and before I press it together, I'm actually going to take one end and put a dent in it. So it kind of looks like a donut. Once I have that dent in there, I'm going to go ahead and start pressing things together all the way around. Now, if it gets too wet, when the slip oozes on the outside of your project, you may have to dry your hands once in a while. Now we have this seam here, and it needs to go away for sure. So what I like to do for this is I like to score at a diagonal in 2 directions across it and kind of smear it at the same time. This is going to help close this up, make it more permanent and less noticeable, so that we don't have a dent around it or a line. And as you do this, it's a little soft to start with, but once you get it closed up really well, then the air inside kind of supports its shape. And then I'm going to scrape this excess on my slip containers because it can just be recycled back into the slip. I'm going to use the side of my tool that's smooth and go over it diagonally in 2 different directions again to help me hide the seam. So they do start out looking a little bit messy, but that pretty much happens with any clay project that we do. So the seam is mostly hidden. I can always go back over it, and I'll probably have to do it a little bit as I go, as I finish other steps of this. I'm going to go in and smooth out. Let's see how I put a little too much pressure on it and the seam popped just a little bit. It'll happen less as my clay firms up. So I'm just going to use my thumb on both sides to smooth some of this out. It might still be a little lumpy and bumpy. It's okay to start with. But I don't want to be able to tell that I just used that scoring tool and had all those teeth all over my project. So when you're finished with that step, it should look something like this. You just round on one side and kind of like a donut on the other.